Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this very special FabScraps card making project. Now today brings to a close the last 8 weeks approximately of using our Days Gone By collection and our Love Story collections from FabScraps. And today's card is a combination of both of those items and a combination of some of the techniques that we've followed and made through the last 8 weeks. So it's kind of like an amalgamation of lots of different things, including the two collections. Now there's also a how-to today to make the actual pocket watch that goes on the card. It's a pocket watch shaker and it's a great technique. If you've not seen how to make a shaker before, please give it a watch. And if you're curious about how to make the pocket watch part of it, please give it a watch as well. It is quite intricate and I just think it's genius. I'd also like to thank my husband for the idea. I can't take credit for it. It was his idea and he just said, why don't you make a pocket watch using the chains from the heart, the paper chains? And I thought, oh, what a good idea. So I have done, and I just hope you like it as well. I think it is absolutely spectacular and a great way to end these two collections that we've been looking at. Now, in the coming weeks, I can't give you a date because obviously waiting for delivery and things like that. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week. I just don't know at the moment, so you have to keep your eye on Facebook. I'm hoping the new collections will be here by next Wednesday for me to be able to do the uncovering of the new Fab-Boxes. However, I'm just a little bit unsure. It will be a Wednesday, so it'll either be next Wednesday or the Wednesday after, I would have said. Keep your eye on my blog because there will be the information on there anyway for the new collections. I'm as interested as you to see what they're going to be. It's all very exciting. And then when the new collections come, we will then carry on for however many weeks, alternate until the next set of collections are out. So it'll probably be about 8 weeks. So check the blog for everything that I've used today, and there's a full list on there. You can always find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, the social media platforms. It's great, and it is really lovely to hear from you, because I know that you enjoy watching. I know you enjoy the how-tos as well, and you like to incorporate those into your own cards. So sit back, relax, and take a look at our very, very special FabScraps card making project today. So the first thing that we're going to need for our project is our base card. This is a 7x7" card, just in white. Now, if you don't have this size, you can either go up a size to use 8x8, you could go down to 6x6, or you could use 7x5 landscape. So that will just be turning your card to a landscape position in the 7x5 size. For my friends across the pond, the 5x7. And it would work then. You just have a play around with the size. I think this card is going to be ideal for so many different people. You could make it in pastel colours for something more feminine. You could make it a little bit more darker if the person was that way of stature, if you know what I mean. It just depends. We're using our Days Gone By collection and the Love Story collection combined because this is a special project. It's the last one for these two collections, and I thought let's incorporate lots of things that we've done in the past videos for the past 8 weeks or however long it is, and bring it all together. So this is our base card, and I've got a confession to make. I've already put the paper on the front. There is a reason. I messed up. I've used 2 sheets of paper from the Love Story collection because we're cross-combining the two collections. I know the Days Gone By collection is sold out now. However, I just want to show you that you don't have to, you're not limited. I think that's what I'm trying to say. You're not limited to using just a particular collection, and things do mix and match. Even though you think, oh, that'll never go with that, but it will. So I've gone ahead and put the paper on the front of the card, and I've already stamped it. I had a happy accident. It was a very unhappy accident at the time, but it's turned out to be a happy accident because I backed the card with the paler paper from the Love Story collection, and I stamped it using this stamp, and I stamped really badly. We've all been there, and I thought, well, I'm not wasting the card. I've already put the paper on it because I wanted it edge to edge, and I knew it would save us time. So I took another piece of the contrasting paper in the same pattern, stamped on that and popped that on, and I think that works even better than it did just with the paler one, and it will all come together in the end. I've used a stamp out of my own stash, and I've used permanent Stays On ink in timber, and the stamp says, "We do not remember days, we remember moments." That's going to work so well with our pocket watch shaker on the front, because we do remember moments. And what is a moment? It's a moment of time. So it all works together. It's all, you know, I do think these things through for you. That's what I'm trying to say. So the first thing that we're going to do is the inside. Now, this card is going to be quite 3D, and I think it would be a great card to actually physically give to somebody rather than post it to them. Now, the inside of the card, again, is a mix of both of the collections. The base of the card, I'm going to add a piece from the Love Story collection from FabScraps. I've already cut it out, double-sided, and I know your toes are curling up because I'm covering over a gorgeous pattern, but I have to use the papers. So I've cut it just about 1/4 of an inch shorter than the actual size of the card itself, and I'm just adding that for the basis. It's light enough colour you'd be able to write on top of it, so if you've got a nice long message to write, or if you're just writing to and from, etc. Now I'm going to add a little bit of an embellishment. Now this is from the Days Gone By collection. I've used a pocket die. Now this is just a general die, no brand, and I've added in a fine liner around the edge just some brown stitching. So I hope you can see that. Just some brown stitching around the edge. I've got flat double-sided tape just around the edge of the die cut. Again, you can see it's the double-sided paper from the Days Gone By collection. And I'm going to add it roughly here, I would say. So the tape was just around the edge, so it creates a kind of pocket. I've taken some of the embellishment lace border strips and I've cut it down just to fit the width of our pocket. I've also added the stitching on either side so that it tones in with the actual pocket that we've added. And then finally, I've taken one of the embellishment tags from the Days Gone By collection, and I've stamped just using one of my own stamps from my stash, and it says, "Hope your birthday is filled with lots of friends, family, food and fun." Well, that sounds ideal to me. On the back, I have got flat tape at the bottom and 2 3D foam pads at the top, and I'm simply going to add that just into our pocket, like so. Kind of, could have maybe done to have put the pocket a bit lower, but I think that will work there. So it's just a little bit higher than the card, but I think it'll look great. It'll all blend in. So we've got lots of space to write on for the actual insert, and now we can turn our attention to the outside of the card. Now the outside of the card is quite fancy, but I think, you know, it's all going to be so worth it. The first thing I've done is I've taken a strip of the lace border like we used for the inside of the pocket, for the top of it. And this is from the Days Gone By collection. And I'm going to add it just to the side of the card, just to one side. And then I've die cut 4 buttons, and I've used glossy accents on the top of them. These were all from the Days Gone By collection. I've die cut using just a circle punch, and I actually used my crocodile to get the centre holes. And quite a funny story here, I have got some button dies and I couldn't find them. They're really tiny and they weren't in my die box, so that's why I had to do them myself. So I've die cut those, and I've added glossy accents on the top just to make them nice and shiny. And I'm adding just a little bit of wet glue onto the back of the buttons. So there's 4 for this section, but I've actually done 5 because we want an extra one for the pocket. So I'm having trouble with my glue here. So we're going to switch glues, which I thought I might have trouble with that. I was hoping I wouldn't, but okay. So we'll just switch to the silicone glue, and I'm going to add the buttons just down the side on top of the lace border, all 4 of them, and then there we go. Press them down. They don't have to be perfectly straight or anything. I'm lucky they look as though they could be quite straight. Next, we're going to add a pocket. And we're going to add our pocket to the card. And the base of the pocket I've cut out from the Days Gone By collection. And this is going to be stuck down flat to the base of the card. And I've used double-sided tape on the back. Again, I've gone around the edge just with a little brown fine liner and put that about there. Press it down, and it goes over the 2 edges of the paper on the base layer. The next layer is slightly smaller than the previous layer, and I've got it on 2 layers of 3D foam. So we can pop that on top. Now there is a reason for this, because we're going to add our pocket watch, and we're just going to kind of add the bits now to the pocket watch, but I'm thinking, which pocket watch do we use? Because we made 2 different ones. Well, we made 2 the same, and then we've got some gold ones. And I'm thinking they're both so pretty. I'm thinking we'll use this one. This is the one that we've just made in our tutorial. So we're going to use this pocket watch, and I'm just going to put the card to one side for now, because we're going to get all paper crafty now. This is one of the beer board embellishments from the Days Gone By collection. I've inked it with white ink, and then I've heat embossed it using white heat embossing powder. I've added a paper chain. Now, in week 13, project 13, I think it was project 13, I'm just going to check. It was. In project 13, we made paper chains, and I thought a pocket watch is attached with a chain. So what an ideal thing to do. So I've made a paper chain, and I've attached it already to the back well, hooked it on to the little beadboard embellishment. Now all I have to do is add the 2 paper chains to our watch. So this is where the different glues come in, and I'm just checking the nozzle on my glossy accents, because what we're going to do is attach our pocket watch to the chain that was attached to the beadboard embellishment. So now this just proves I can't do 2 things at once, where I can't chat and think about what we're doing. So I've taken a paper strip and I'm adding the actual paper chain, and I'm going to just add a little bit of glossy accents onto that, and then fold that over like so. There we go. And hold that for a few seconds because we want it to attach there, like so. And this is the little bit where we have to hold our breath to make sure it's going to work. And then I can add the second chain, which I'm going to do. Now the second chain isn't attached to anything. The second chain is just a plain chain. Plain chain. I don't know. I shouldn't make myself laugh while I'm doing this. My friend Carla will be laughing at that. She laughs at everything. So I can thread the second one through the top of the watch like so to add the second chain. Now the different lengths of the chains, because I want them one into the pocket and one that's onto the embellishment, kind of like a safety chain. So we'll just hold that down for a few seconds, and then hopefully we've now got the chain attached to the element and to itself, as it were. So now we can add this to the front of our card. The embellishment is going to go on the top of the pocket, so we can make our chain nice and neat, and we can add our pocket. I've got some tape on the back of the actual watch itself. I'm going to add the embellishment first. So I'm going to use glossy accents, and I'm just going to add a little bit on just the little bobbly bits, and hopefully that will hold it. And press that down. There we go. Then I can add my watch to the actual card front. So I'll try and just get this chain roughly where I think it's going to be. I don't want it to hang off the edge of the card, but I do want it to have like a swoop, as it were. So I think we'll pop the watch about there. There we go. And then the top section is just going to simply go into the pocket. Now for this little bit I'm going to use silicone glue. I'm just going to add a little bit just about there, and I'm going to push the chain in so it's gone into the glue, and I'm hoping that will hold it. Next, I've got an embellishment from the tag embellishment set that was in the Days Gone By collection. I've got 3D foam at the top and flat tape at the bottom, and I'm simply going to pop that just at the back of the pocket, like so. And that again will help holding the chain in. Press that down. There we go. I've also got another little button, and this time this button is for the top of the baseboard embellishment. There we go. And the very last thing I've got is a bow that I'm going to just add to the top of the tag. And that is our card finished. And I'm going to try moving it. I will take lots of photos and put them on my blog, but I want it to dry first. That was the only thing with this project, because of the actual glue and everything on it. So I'm hoping when I pick it up, it will just all fall into place with the chain, and it does. And the chain just finds its own way. How cool is that? That just looks so pretty. I'll take, as I've just said, I'll take lots of photos and put them on my blog. Now, there's not a lot on the card, but there's work that's gone into the watch and the chain and everything. And I just think a card for, like we said, you could go darker for a gentleman. I mean, for a gentleman, that's just ideal, I think. Everything's moving now because of the glue. You could, for a gentleman, that is ideal. You could go very feminine. You could use the entire Love Story collection to make this and make it so pretty and feminine. But it just works. The style of it just works. And I adore the paper chain and the shaker watch. It just, to me, I've impressed myself. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you ideas to think outside the box, to think that you can use your different paper collections together, to use things you've got in your stash, to make things 3D from the things you've got in your stash. Just play with what you have. That's kind of like the idea. Let me know you've enjoyed it. Please give me the thumbs up, and I'll take lots of photos. I'll put them on my blog. Everything will be on my blog that I've used. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure if next week we might have some new FabScraps collections to look at. Fingers crossed. So just check on Wednesday, next Wednesday, to see what's happening. If there's a video there. It's going to depend on postage and things like that. If there isn't, it'll be the Wednesday after, I'm sure. But just check on Facebook. That is kind of like where I would put anything to let you know who we have new collections, etc. Grab those fab boxes, the new ones, when they come, because they sell out quite quick. The Days Gone By obviously sold out quite quick. And there was a few of the Love Story available when I filmed this. Whether they'll be available now or not, I've no idea. But the main reason for just doing this last project is because I wanted to do it combined to show you that you can do it. So I would just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.